Hi everyone, Deb here with Deb Helps Crafty Cottage. I am not a demonstrator, but I just like to use the paper pumpkin and make some alternatives. So I have some alternatives, and this is the September with Love and Gratitude paper pumpkin kit. I still have quite a bit left, but I'm just out of time right now. This is the one we made with the unboxing that it's as intended. There should be an envelope with this, but I don't know what I did with it at the moment. Maybe I used it to cut up. I don't know. I did sacrifice so far um, two of these, or maybe three, and one bag, but I'm going to sacrifice another bag, and I'll explain that in a minute. So what I'm going to show you, I have two note cards I made larger than these that are using Stampin' Up's basic white note cards and envelopes, because I discovered that this part of this bag is almost exactly the size of the front of one of these little note cards, which are, now see, I'm not exactly sure, 5 1/8 by 3 5/8, but I don't know if that's the envelopes or the note cards. Anyway, whatever they are, I think they're 5 by 3 1/2 or something like that. 5 by, yeah, 3 1/2, and then the extra part is the envelope room. All right, so let me show you what I did. I'm going to bring out the first two and put the rest of these over here. So this is going to be a set of 4 note cards, but I just didn't have time to do the others. Oh, that's the envelope that goes with that one. Okay. So yes, I sacrificed one bag, and I used other bits of it in other cards, which I'll show you later. So the part that is, you cut along this line and cut along here and here, and then you do the same on this side. So the first one you have to cut with scissors, and I would do it on this side without the gold flap, because you're going to want to use the gold flap, as you'll see in another card. And then you can use your trimmer to cut after that, because you can open it up. And I even used part of either this one or this side on one of the cards too. And I used the flap, and I used both of these flaps, this one and this one. So, and I'm going to use that to make the next two cards identical to this. So I will have a set of 4 note cards. I sacrificed one of these, and I used, I just cut it here. I only used one to get, I actually got 4 strips like this, because if you want to make sure that you cut it so the pattern in here is going sideways. And then if you cut it 7/8, 7/8, 7/8, and 7/8, you can get 4 strips like this. So that's what I did. I think I still have the other 2 strips, or maybe just one of them. I can't remember. And then I used this on the next card. And I did bring in the same greenery and golds that are on the bag here. And I stamped "Thank You." I brought in this retired Simply Elegant trim in the gold and just made a little bow. And stuck it down with one of the glue dots from the kit. And I also brought in the retired metallic pearls, which I've used on I think 3 of the cards. And I don't think I did anything inside. Nope, they're just plain. So these note cards and the envelopes are available in the annual catalog. I checked so I could give you that answer. And I have set aside one more bag, one more card that I'll have to cut, and all the pieces that I need so that I can get a set of 4. I just wanted to move on so that I could show you other things, because I'm a little short on time. Okay, so that's the first thing, 4 note cards as a set. And the next one, let me make sure that was the next one. No, the next one was this. So remember I said I used the flaps, these, I thought these looked like a basket, some kind of a basket. So I made a basket, and I did put on this one, I put some retired Fine Art Floral Suite gold fine art ribbon, 3/8 inch, and I just tacked it down with tear and tape that came in the kit. This basket is full of pumpkins, and I did sacrifice one envelope, and this is part of it. Now it did have a line going here because the envelopes, the pattern goes down all the way to the bottom of the front, but it's not on this side. I did use this for something, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But this side here has, you know, the sticky on it. So I needed, I think this is about 4 inches. So I trimmed this down a little bit, and I cut to 4 inches, but that then has a little seam here. But it's okay because I put it underneath the other half of that card that I cut up, and used that as the background. And then I used 2 of the pumpkin punch outs, one of the big ones, the little gray one too, these are the copper clay ones, and one of the smaller gold pieces, and then 3 more of those metallic pearls, and I stamped Grateful for You. I think I got this ribbon on a little wonky. And oh, the basket is up on dimensionals. And inside I just used one of the copper clay pumpkin punch outs. One sec. I did put this on a Lost Lagoon card base and a piece of white 5 1/4 by 4 inch mat on inside and outside. And then this is just one of the standard A2 envelopes. So that's the, if we count this as 1, but it'll be 4. Here's the second one. Okay, then the next one, I think was this one. Yeah, was this one. So I cut apart another of the green cards. Let me get one of those. This is on a Lost Lagoon. It takes me a while. I was fiddling around, so I brought in a card mat. I kind of figured I wanted to put it on Lost Lagoon background. I wasn't sure if I wanted to put like gold strips along here. I decided not to because we've got gold here. We've got gold here, which I'll explain in a minute. And then we have a removable tag. I did not punch a hole in it and put twine through it because I already have ribbon here, and I just didn't like the way it looked, but I figured whoever gets the card, I can gift a little bit of the twine and they can punch their own hole. I just put 2 of the leaves, or they can use this as, you know, to put on their own card and put a sentiment with it. I just put 2 of the leaf pieces, made sort of like a, what do you call those things? A splay or something like that? A spray? I don't know. And I put one of the small pumpkins in the middle of that. And then here, I sacrificed the other part of that envelope, and if I can find it, which is going to go in the trash now. And I stamped thanks, and I used the new deckled circles dies again. I'm loving those dies. They're in the mini catalog, by the way. They're standalone dies. I stamped thanks with Lost Lagoon, and then I believe I had to sacrifice another one of these cards. I did, and you'll see what I did on the next card. But I cut that out of the front of one of these cards. So I didn't waste it. And then this is Lost Lagoon ribbon. This is new, so it's current. And bordered ribbon 1/4 inch in Lost Lagoon. Okay, that's in the annual catalog. Now to get this, you know, you punch out all those wonderful gold things, and you're left with these sheets, right? Well, you know, you can get not quite a 1/4 inch strip off some of these, and some of these you could probably get a 1/2 inch circle or something out of. So I saved them. Like this one is a nice long but thin piece. Well, I needed a little something here because here's why. This, oh, and this is from the bag, the flap part with the gold on it. So I needed this piece here. I needed 5 1/4, right? So when I cut it, you know, to 5 1/4, you end up with a crease in it right here. And it didn't show terribly, but it showed a little bit. So I wanted to raise the pocket up a little bit so that crease didn't show. So to do that, I put a piece of that gold down at the bottom of the pocket, and that raised it up just enough that the line in the background card does not show. So you wouldn't know that that's not designer paper. And this is another piece of the bag. It's one of the sides, you know, one of these pieces flattened out, and it does have a little seam here or there too, but you can't see it because it's underneath these plants. And I backed it on a scrap of the Lost Lagoon, so it's sturdy and can be used as a tag or a bookmark or something. And I just stamped thanks from the set on that little circle, and I think that looks adorable. And inside I stamped with the stamp in the set the pumpkin in smoky slate, and I stamped off, and I really don't like how it turned out, but I'm not going to mess with it. Now I think if you look at theirs, they have dark lines in between here, right? And I guess maybe if I would have gone back with maybe a basic gray marker and filled in those, it would look better. And I used Mossy Meadow for the stem. It's all right. It's on the inside. That's all I did on that. And this piece, I'm not going to save of the envelope. You could maybe cut some of these pieces off to use for stamping on, but I have I have some of these the labels that came in the kit still. So that's the third alternative. And then I said I sacrificed one of those little cards. Well, I didn't want to waste it. You know, I cut out the deckled circle out of the front here. So I took a piece of the Lost Lagoon cardstock and I cut a bigger one out. So these two are, I think, the second and third one here and here, and then this one is the, I think it's the fourth one. Yeah, the fourth one from the center, because you needed it to be big enough to glue it inside so that you wouldn't see the edges, you know, when you put that in. And then I just glued down the pumpkin in 2 of these pieces, and I stamped thanks on one of the flat-sided banners, but I still cut some off over here and tucked that under, and that's all. And I just stuck it with this. So it's just another little note card to say thanks. I always need thank yous, you know. So I have thanks, grateful for you, thanks, and what were the first 2? Thank yous. Thank you. And then I have one more card, I think. Yep. All right, and this is this one. Now this one, I was kind of getting bored with doing what I was doing, so I had this left over from punching out all the, you know, the labels. So I got a piece of white card mat out, and I put this down, and I put tape down like this on there so that this side I would have, you know, about this in the middle all the way down. And then I took my blending brushes and I used Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. Started with Lost Lagoon, then did Pretty Peacock, and then I put a little Pretty Peacock over the Lost Lagoon in the center. I don't know why my Lost Lagoon on this side was darker. Maybe I used a wrong brush or something. I stamped, oh, and then I took the tape off and I carefully moved it so that I would get, you know, the tape would be over here, would be over some of the stuff I'd already blended, but I would get these over towards the other edge, but even with the other one. Anyway, they're a little shorter. You do get a little white line down the center, but you only see it here really, and the rest of it, excuse me, the rest of it is covered by plants. So I used the tall plant, 2 little gold ones, and 2 of the leaves, and I just glued them on top of each other while manually holding this basket in place. Now this basket, bottom flap, if you will, of the bag, I took and edged in the copper clay ink pad all the way around because I don't have the dye base marker. I think I do have the alcohol marker, but I haven't used it. Anyway, I put pecan pie ribbon, bordered ribbon on because I thought the texture of that ribbon looked very similar to the texture in that bag paper. And then I used copper clay adhesive back speckled dots just to give it some decoration on my basket. And I stamped thank you and pretty peacock just right on the card before I glued these things down. But I had this one sort of laying in place, the bottom one, when I did that. So I knew it got a little bit crooked because I was afraid I would get it on here, but it's not too bad. And then the basket I bumped up on dimensionals all the way around, okay? And this is tacked down with tear and tape. And then inside I just stamped off ones with pretty peacock. I should have maybe stamped off twice, but anyway, or maybe I should have used Lost Lagoon and stamped off twice because this one's on a pretty peacock card base. So that is it. I still have quite a lot left. You know, I held out enough to do those other 2 note cards, and where are they? Here they are. And I have this little note card. So these are the pieces I need to do 2 more of these note cards. So I'll have a set of 4. And yeah, and then I of course have the stamp set. I think I have 3 more of these and 5 more bags besides the 2 that I have. I only cut 1 bag up, I'm pretty sure. Yep. And I got the flap, the 2 baskets, and these 2 card mats for the note cards out of 1 bag. So that was pretty cool. And I think I have 5 or 6 envelopes left, plus the one I used for originally. So, and I still have I still have a side of a bag, and this was a test. But look, that makes like a cool looking pot or something too, doesn't it? You could put plants in. That was a test, and I still have pieces from probably that first, I don't know, from one of those green cards. I have a little piece of envelope, but honestly, that piece, unless I need a strip of floral, might go in the trash because I don't want the gluey part. And then, of course, I have some foil long pieces still in the sheet, about 2, I think, yeah. And I have about 3 more of this size, plus a few gray pumpkins and a few of everything. I have a few of everything, basically, plus the stamp pad. So I still have a lot to use. I just ran out of time. I have to move on to the next thing. I have a busy, I don't know how my life got so busy. I'm always home, it seems like, but well, tomorrow I won't be. But anyway, always busy. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I tried to do things that didn't require much from, you know, of other papers and things like that, other than some cardstock. You can use whatever ribbons or twine. You could just use white twine where I used the gold twine, or you could use white twine and color it if you have the Lost Lagoon alcohol marker or the Mossy Meadow alcohol marker, or any other gold ribbon you might have, or anything like that. Use whatever embellishments you have and just get creative. I just play around with things, and this one, I know I wanted to use this flap, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with it. I wanted to use it as a pocket, but it took me a little bit to finagle that one. And this one, once I figured out the plant design and the basket again, I was okay with that. And this one came pretty easy. And these were pretty much the same as what was on the bag, only on a note card. And I think that'll make a nice set of note cards, right? I think they're cute. And I always need thank you cards. So I have thank yous, grateful for you, and thanks. And thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry it's so long, and I hope to see you the next time. Let's see. October is starting on Sunday, so around October 11th, they bill for the next one, which I think is going to be a Christmas one, if I remember. I think I saw something about that. I can't remember if it's tags or cards. I hope it's not gift bags because I don't use them very often. Anyway, not these little ones. All right. Have a wonderful weekend and week next week. Take care. Hugs, love, and peace.